Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies coming at you with more Space Marine content. As you know, Games Workshop very kindly sent me out one of all of the new multi-part plastic Space Marine kits that got announced I think a week ago, and they're actually coming out for you guys in a week. There was a 2-week pre-order for these guys. And obviously I've been wanting to bring you guys as much content as possible based around Space Marines, as we are all Space Marine fans pretty much. I know someone in the comments is going to say, oh, I'm not a Space Marine fan, but most of us are. So the problem that I'm struggling with is the fact that I have many Space Marine armies. So I'm trying to divide up all of these new kits and decide which armies they go into. So for instance, the Assault Marines and the new Assault Captain, I knew were going to go into my Flesh Tearers army. I think that suits very well. As for the new kind of command squad, I still don't know where that should go. So I thought with today's video, I would work out the Sternguard. Now, since I already had a squad of Sternguard for my Flesh Tearers, I decided I would start off with the Flesh Tearers for my Black Templars, or sorry, the Sternguard for my Black Templars, which is a challenge unto itself because I was trying to decide how I should paint them. In the end, I decided that they would, of course, be veterans, so I'm going to put them in with the veteran cast of Black Templars and paint them up in the same kind of colors as the Sword Brethren, so red shoulder print, red crosses and the like. So I'm curious to see whether they're going to turn out nice or not. I guess you guys will stick around and see if I manage to pull it off, or if you would have done something different. Before I get into the video though, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my active patrons. You guys are amazing. Without you guys, I would not be able to continue doing what I am doing, making these awesome videos for you as much as possible. If you're interested in getting involved with that, there are links in the description below that will take you to my Patreon page where you can get involved. You get things like access to a private Discord server and an extra video every single week. So that's 52 extra videos a year. And that does mean that in October, they're going to get an extra 4 orc videos, which I think is pretty sweet. Okay, without further ado, let's get painting a Black Templar Sword Brethren Sternguard. Mix all that together and let's see what we get. So this is the squad of 5 Sternguard that I made, the multi-part ones. I decided to use all the snazzy equipment. Obviously they all have cool combi weapons. I think there's a combi plas, 2 combi meltas, the awesome big 4-barreled flamer thing. I can't remember what that gun is called, unfortunately, but it's a beastly weapon, and I definitely think for Black Templars or Salamanders it really does suit them quite well. And then obviously the other 2 members. And the Sergeant, which is of course the one I'm going to be using for today's video, is in just an awesome pose. I know it's a bit more relaxed and casual, but I do like the openness. I think he's walking forward quite menacingly. The banner kind of fluttering in the wind. I definitely think it works a treat. I'm very happy with how he turned out, and I'm super excited to get him painted up and looking well in the Black Templar scheme. So I sprayed the models all Chaos Black and then gave them a light dusting of Lead Belcher from a rattle can as well. This gives me the base coat that I like using for painting my Black Templars. I've done quite a few Black Templars tutorials now at this stage, as my Black Templars force is quite large. So I'm sure some of you have seen this techniques before, but I'm going to go through it again for those who have not. I start with a coat of a Black Templar contrast, and I apply this to all of the armor parts of the miniature. It goes on fairly smooth. I really like the result. From there, we are going to start working up through the silver. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to give the whole model a light dry brush of silver. This will add a little bit of highlight into the black. It'll basically make all the edges a little bit brighter. We will be adding one more stage to the armor later in the video, but we're going to put the rest of the base coats on before that. But it will require a Nuln Oil shade to really just make all of the armor kind of settle and finish to the correct tone, and it looks really well. Just trust me, wait till you see this. Now it's time to work in the red. Like I said, we're going to go for the Sword Brethren scheme. So we're going to go Flesh Tearers red and paint all the bits that were meant to be red now. So obviously it's the trim on the shoulder pad. I decided to do his big glorious back banner in red as well. I was tempted to do the tabard running down the middle of his body, thinking that Sword Brethren ones were red, but they have red capes on, and the normal loincloth or tabard that runs down the center of their body is the traditional cream or white. So that's what I'm going to stick with when it comes to that. And obviously, of course, the casing on his rifle. I was tempted to do a bit of the casing on the Power Fist as well. I do like all kind of weapon casings being the same, but I decided to keep it with the black armor, since how it has a really beautiful motif on the back of it, and we're going to be doing that in gold anyway. Xandri Dust is the base coat of choice that I like to use for all of my tabards and actually my traditional Black Templars white shoulder pads. I don't like doing them white, I like them doing more of a cream. So they would get this Xandri Dust coat now as well. But yeah, I'm being careful not to hit any of the black or any of the other parts of the miniature, especially the black and the red, because those bits have got paint on them already. Like I said, sometimes it's going to require 2 thin coats of Xandri dust to get the kind of coverage that you're looking for, especially over something like silver. Silver's not the greatest paint to be painting over kind of flat tones with. After that, we're going to jump to Rhinox hide, and this is just for the belt that runs around his waist, and the sling for his bolt rifle as well is also going to get a coat of Rhinox hide. These are just kind of nice dark muted tones. You don't want to be drawing too much attention to their belt or their strap for their rifle. So a dark brown is what I like to use. When I got to about this stage and saw the results, I definitely thought I had made the right choice in deciding to use these guys for my Black Templar Sternguard. There's definitely a couple more kits that I still want to add to my Black Templars, but I do find that if they're missing the tabard part on the front, they don't really look very Black Templar-y, which is kind of annoying me, so maybe I have to get my hands on a lot of Black Templars bodies to use for all the different units in the... That might need to be a lot of Black Templars Crusader squads bought. Some Retributor armor gold was then brought in for all of the nice motifs and details across the armor. So obviously the winged Aquila across his chest. He's got a nice symbol on his wrist and his shoulder. Top of the banner pole, the square trimming that goes around the banner as well. The chain that runs down as well. It's a lot of gold. Obviously he's quite a high rank, so gold is what he's going to get. Now it's time to hit the entire model with Nuln Oil. This is what's going to finish off the armor color. It's going to just kind of blend all of those black contrast. The light dry brush of silver is going to show through a little bit. It really does look well. So this is it as it's dried, and as you can see, the black armor looks very glossy, very nice. I think it definitely suits the idea of like black power armor. And it's very quick and easy to do. Obviously you can spend a lot of time painting black power armor if you're going to go for those like 2 or 3 stages of edge highlighting. I haven't got time for that. I've got too many models to paint. So this is my way of doing it, much faster, but still to quite a nice standard. Then it was time to start layering up the red parts of this. So we're going to go for 2 stages. We're going to go for Mephiston red, and then we're going to jump up with Evil Sun Scarlet after that. So we are going to take our time, make sure that we got a nice neat coat of these. Like I said, these are wrapping around obviously the shoulder trim. The banner needs to get layered. And we're kind of moving into the like final stages. Like the armor is pretty much done except for a bit of chipping, so we don't want to hit the red with that. Bolt gun casing, you want to make it nice and bright, so that's where we're going to jump back in. Evil Sun Scarlet for one final highlight across the armor. As you can see, it's kind of a lot less applied as opposed to the Mephiston. You're just looking for those slight lines, anywhere where the light's really going to hit those shoulder parts. We're going to hit with the Evil Sun Scarlet just to brighten it all up a bit. And I do love the look of the kind of dark black with the bright red on it. Works a treat. Now it's time to stick a couple of transfers on this. I'm just going to put 2 on the red cross, which is synonymous with the Sword Brethren, and then of course a big Black Templar cross on his back banner. I think will work a treat. After that, we're going to go in with my stippling wand stick brush thing that I got from Green Stuff World. You can use a bit of case foam, you just pull a bit out. Load it up with silver and wipe most of the silver off, and then just stab it on, or stipple it on if you will. And this just adds a few bits of kind of chipping and weathering to the power armor all over. I decided to do this at this point because I don't want to do it. I don't want to layer up the cloth in the middle and then stipple on silver. That won't make much sense. So having done that there, that means I can now highlight the kind of leather belt and the tabard, their respective colors, which would tidy up any silver that got on those. That doesn't need to be there. Obviously there's not going to be chipping damage on cloth. And this is once again one of those things where take your time. 2 thin coats will get you a really nice result on this and give you the kind of look you're looking for. And I definitely think this was the right decision to go with this as opposed to a red tabard. It definitely pulls it a little bit closer to a traditional Black Templar scheme. And I think that will settle into the army a hell of a lot better than if it was just red. I do love how the transfers looked on the banner. Micro set and micro sol, they win the day. Bit of varnish over the top of it and it blends right in. Going back to lead belcher once again, but this is to highlight all the metallics. So both the gold and silver metallics, I use silver to highlight. With the gold, it's just a few touch highlights. As you can see, I'm just hitting kind of sharp points. And then any other details that are silver, which on this particular model is actually only the back banner pole, and some parts of his bolt rifle are silver. The rest is all gold, so just a solid coat of lead belcher on those for layering and tidying those up. With that, we have our pretty much finished Black Templars. The only thing left to do is do his eye lenses and the little gemstone in the middle of his metal medallion thing. So obviously when I did the lead belcher stage, I painted in the eye lenses with silver to give it as a nice base coat for contrast. And then I just went in with some Blood Angel contrast for the eye lenses and the jewel in the middle of that Crux Terminalis style thing. And with that, we now have a finished multi-part Sternguard painted in my Sword Brethren color scheme, ready to serve alongside my Black Templar army. I do love how this guy turned out. I'm super pleased with it, and like I said, I don't think it will take very long for me to get the other 4 members that I painted and hopefully get them on the tabletop sometime very, very soon. Okay guys, and there we have it, one finished Sternguard for my Black Templars army. I think it was the right choice to go with the kind of Sword Brethren colors, with the red banner, big black cross. I think it worked an absolute treat for these guys, and I'm super excited to get the other 4 members of the squad painted up and set up with my Black Templar shelf. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments below. I will get back to each and every one of you guys. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please take 2 seconds out of your day and smash that subscribe button. It really does make a huge difference. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one.